going to catch you off guard and start recording. We started. So you're still messing around with your stuff there, but we are going. We're recording. This is
All right.
episode 1 of The Culture Cipher, Chris and Tony.
Yeah.
And so my idea for this, you agreed to do this. I need your humor, Chris. You have a sick sense of humor, and the world sorely needs this.
All righty.
So I'm warning people
Very good.
now. This is to the people that are tuning in for this one. This is the first 5 minutes of the episode of ever, and we plan to make a lot of these. And I'm warning you guys right now that the humor will cross boundaries. We we will violate something with our humor here. So before I get into asking you about you, I want to say that I've done a ton of shows, through my background. We'll talk about that later. But what I've noticed is that everybody falls into the same like narrow category of bring somebody on, they interview them, they find a topic that makes people upset, and then they run with it or whatever. So there's a lot of division in the world now created by media, and there's a lot of things. People have lost the ability to just talk about stuff. And so I thought this would be a great idea because I've known you most of my life, and we want to talk about other stuff than what one genre does. And so what we're going to do every week or every so often is cover current events and things that we like. And hopefully the people watching, you like them too. So there. What do you think of that, Chris?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. It'll work out.
Don't be too wordy. Okay. So I'm going to give the rundown. So the regular stuff that we will cover is global news, right? So every week it changes, and we can talk about that. A lot of people want to have a follow-up. And when you look at the headlines on the news, you're only seeing part of the story. You got to dig deeper, and most people are not curious and don't dig. So we'll do that and do follow-ups. Music. So nobody talks about the music business. It's probably rotten to the core at the top. There's a lot. It makes the news a lot. We all listen to it, and I think it's fun to talk about. So movies and entertainment, we'll cover some of that stuff. A lot of programming comes through movies and entertainment, so we'll talk about how that goes. And then games and esports. So we both play game. We both are gamers. We have been for a long time. A lot of people are, and they're afraid to talk about it publicly like it's some kind of thing. And some people kind of get beat up about it. But you know what? It's the number 2 most trending subject on YouTube is esports.
Wow.
I mean, a lot of people are watching this stuff. You know what I mean?
I believe it. I believe it's pretty damn trending.
Well, do you watch any?
Yeah. Well, because my son is a super gamer, and he's really good. He plays a lot of games, and he follows them. So, part of my pastime with him is to do certain activities and watch those on, TV with him. And I play some of the games with him too. So,
I saw a stat the other day that said that it reverses your mental. Okay. Playing video games makes you keep your mental stamina later in life. It reverses aging. It's like a brain
learning, right? Because you're always learning something new when you're doing these games. So
you're always working. You know what I mean? Like it's brains and muscles. You're always working it. So it makes you sharp. So that can't be argued to. So you can't overdose on being stronger mentally. So 18 hours a day is perfectly okay. We'll talk about the UAP and aerospace genre, which is my wheelhouse. So, and I'm not going to hinge our podcast, this show on only UAPs and aerospace and technology, but that's kind of like what people know me about. So we will talk about it and developments. Watch how I get us some clicks or some followers. 3i Atlas.
Boom.
Boom. Doom. 10,000 followers. So we're going to do something like that.
How can you not right now with that? So
I got to tell you what I'm really good at with that is dispelling stuff, not supporting. So there's some cray out there. People are desperate for clicks. I don't want to do anything bad with my hands. And then culture and viral trends, which ought to be fun. We can do clips and stuff. Honestly, I'm afraid to do. bike clips off of Instagram and stuff and put it here. I don't know if it's a copyright, but I'll get what I can and look into that. But that's what we're going to do for Culture Cipher. We're going to try to uncipher cultural events. When people are pissed off about something for no reason, no good reason, or they're like, you see something in the news and they're immediately mad, it's because you got primed and programmed. And so why not try to deprogram some of it? Here we are. But, all right. So I want to hear your version of this. Like, when did you meet me? Do you remember that?
Yeah. Was it middle school? Was it?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure something like that.
I remember your big old Schwinn bike you had.
The one with the blue mag wheels.
Yeah.
Oh no, this.
They were mismatched. They were mismatched. You put it together yourself.
Yep. Oh no, I had that little the shock thing on the front. Remember the shock?
You had a shock absorber on it, and you had an extra set of forks that were like welded together, bolted together. If it was a chopper, it was chopped out. It had one mag wheel and one spoked wheel.
I don't remember that. I know you must have thought
I'll never forget that. As long as I
was
live.
it that bad? I don't remember that.
Look, so let me give this some context. Back then, we're talking about 1980 something,
80 something for
four or five. It was the BMX world. So all the young boys were into BMX bikes, and I met you at a homemade BMX track.
Oh yeah, that we made out
at the end of the street.
Tim Derry's
by Tim Derry's house.
Tim
That's
Derry's
right.
house, right behind his house.
Yes.
So we had like I don't know, like 20 kids or so from all these neighborhoods around us, and there was a big field. His dad was a truck driver, so his dad was like never home, and he literally was the last house. And then right behind him was this huge field. It was I don't even know how many acres, right? And we all as kids back then were all riding our little BMX bikes, and we'd go through the neighborhood and be playing like cops and robbers, hide and seek or whatever, and doing all those fun. So we were like, hey, let's make a racetrack. So we all went out there with a bunch of shovels through. It was like, I swear it took months. I don't know, but we just kept improving it. And it was like a damn big racetrack in the dirt. We were digging, making hills. And that was back in your heyday of BMXing, right?
In the beginning of it, I think I was like 13.
Do people even know about your old
No.
BMX?
I won the state championship when I was 14.
Tony was the
1986.
shit back in the day at his BMX racing. He had some awesome bikes and he was kicking ass. So I remember that. You were the man back then.
I was good at it. And you know what's funny? No one cared. Like seriously.
A
lot of people that go with me, they're like, Tony, you're cool and stuff, but it's not like it got me laid. You know what I'm saying? Like,
really?
Yeah.
I thought it should have.
The weekend I won the state championship in Michigan State Championship, I got a #1 number plate.
I remember you putting it on your bike.
Well, I put on my backpack the day of Monday morning after the race. I put it on my backpack and took it to school with me to show everybody that I won. I told my teacher and everything. And people were like, oh, that's nice. They didn't, like it was a big deal for me.
Like, you're garbage, sick kid, get out of here.
They were like, yeah, whatever. Try to win a track meet, like Johnny. Whatever. BMX was like a sport for damaged kids back then. Like, really, the people that were really good at it had like an antisocial, like an inner damage thing.
Really? I mean, I didn't know. I wasn't into it,
because all the guys that were good at it, unless they had parents behind them and they were naturally athletic, and like you had your really like the jock types, but they were very rare at the track. Most of the kids that were doing hardcore BMXing and like trying to death defy and do tricks, like came from an abusive home kind of thing. Like, it really was a common denominator in a lot of BMX and skateboarding too. Like all the X game sports are, people that are kind of tempting fate because there's like whatever. At least that's my personal opinion. And
I thought it was kind of like more of a Richie sport because the bikes all that people were racing were really expensive, and I never could afford those. So I was always like, damn, those. I remember you had like that Kuwahara bike that was super fresh.
Yes, I had a ton of bikes.
Would you have like a red line or something, right?
No, I had a Kuwahara. I had a Mongoose, a Kuwahara,
Mongoose,
and a Haro.
Yeah.
I had two Kuwaharas Look, I had them all at the same time too. I had 5 bikes. I had like a bike for rainy days and jumping in the lake, and then a trick bike, and then a training bike, that could jump higher, and then I had a race bike and a mountain bike and a 10 speed. Anyhow, here's the story with that. So we weren't rich, but there was my dad went through the divorce,
Hmm.
and he got slapped with like super child support. And he kept asking me, "Do you want to live with me? Do you want to move with me?" And I was like, "No, I'm cool with mom." You know what I mean? I was like, "I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings here." And my parents live close together anyway, so he bought me these bikes.
Hmm.
And he was like, "No, you got to leave the bike here. I could ride it on the
He's like,
weekend."
are you sure you don't want to live with
Yeah, he was like dangling the carrot,
Right.
and it worked because I moved. You know, I was like, "Well, I'm racing. I want to ride my bike all the time, mom," and she was cool with it because my sister was in the picture.
Right.
So that's kind of how I got those bikes. I got spoiled. It was an investment for him to get a return on not paying he actually made money by spending that on those bikes. So that's when we met. So that would have been 85 because I won the championship in 86. So 85. So I'm pull up on your guys' dirt track after like a month after I heard about it at school on the bus. And I was like, I'll be there. And it was like 3 miles ride from my house
No.
down the road. I was living in the trailer
You were
park.
like not even if you were, I thought you were in the,
I was in the trailer park.
then yeah.
Me and Dad were in the
There
trailer.
was a little bit.
That's the divorce. The house got.
If you were down there at the time, I didn't, I remember you lived down there, but I didn't remember, I thought that was before that. Okay. So,
So then I pulled up and everybody's like, "Nice bike." I'm on my street bike, my training Kuahara, which was super shiny. And everybody's like, "Nice bike, man." And Jimmy had his hutch there. I remember that. And then it was like, I don't know, maybe like 20 minutes later, we rode the track, we're racing and stuff. And you come riding up on the chopper, and it was an old Schwinn with the banana seat and
the ghetto bike.
bars.
You know what? I
It was
think I know what you're talking about. I'm thinking of a different bike that I had with the blue 5 mag wheels or whatever. I know what you're talking about. That was a super shit bike. I do remember that. Yep.
Yeah, but it had personality. It said a
It
lot.
did. Yep. Yep.
So fast forward till we were like, when was I? 17. Fast forward to 17. You're a year older than me.
Mm-hmm.
So when you turned 18, so is it okay if we talk about your dad?
Sure. Yeah.
So your dad passed away when you were like 4.
Almost 3, but yeah, right. Like a few days before my 3rd birthday.
Wow. So you were 2 years old. Your dad was an electrician.
Mm-hmm.
And correct me if I get
Detroit
any
Edison.
story. Yeah, worked for Detroit Edison. Awesome job. Accomplished guy. Your mom, beautiful woman. I got to know your mom personally. I hung out with her many times. Awesome. Your dad got called into a storm when the power was out in the middle of the night. Some gnarly, horrendous.
It was like a winter storm. Mm-hmm.
Winter storm, and then the person that was supposed to go up on the line chickened out and wouldn't do it.
No, he did go up.
No, the guy that was supposed to.
He did go up, and he got scared, and he got stuck up there.
Oh wow! So
my dad went up there to save him, help the guy get down, and in the meanwhile, while he was going up after the guy got down, he was going up to fix the actual problem, and I think it was a lightning strike or something. It hit a wire, and a live wire swung down and hit him while he was on the pole up there, and he got electrocuted and died up on the post on the pole up there.
wow.
So
Yeah, your dad went out like a hero, bro.
Yeah, it's true.
So there's no two ways about that. But you were 2 and left your mom in a world where she wasn't supposed to be thinking about being a single mom.
True.
Back then, we're talking in the 70s. And then, but Detroit Edison gives everybody life insurance. And so when you were 18, you got a life insurance policy and got your house. Basically.
Well, the funny story about that, which, I mean, I don't know if it matters talking about that here, but my mom got like a certain amount of money, and my dad's dad was like, "Why don't you let me hold on to half of that for you, just so you don't spend it and do something foolish?" Because my mom was like in control of it, right? And then he took it and spent it and screwed my mom totally over. It was just half of my like inheritance kind of stuff.
Wow.
He bought himself a pool table, added another room onto his trailer, and like just spent it like a fucking idiot. So yeah, my mom was
I'm
very
laughing, but it ain't funny.
yeah, my mom was like very naive, you know. So she lived in like Farmington. She was like very sheltered, I guess, you know, and she's got taken advantage of a lot. Anyways, I don't know if we need to go into that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
but you know, I'm not sure what part you're getting.
I'm framing the story of our youth
Okay,
because
yeah, go
you
ahead.
ended up with your own house and with a
Yeah.
couple. Because so the same way that I had bikes, you had cars.
Well, I had a,
No, you
I
had the
guess I did go through
super.
a lot of cars.
I
Yeah,
got message too. That's weird.
yeah.
No,
Basically, I got like $100,000. I bought like my mom at the time was. It's hard to explain. My mom was
don't talk about all that stuff.
yeah. So
Okay. So, but you ended up with a super duper BMW, bright
mhm.
red with gold trim on the fenders and gold wheels. You got a
I
picture
have
of
a
it? We'll
picture
find
of
it
it.
later and put it in here. You don't got to put
I
it.
have it right here.
Oh, the Beamer.
I was upstairs in the attic.
So look,
While you're talking, I'll look for it.
this is why I want to tell people about it. So not only was it a Beamer that was like fully pimped out, tricked out, but you had the greatest stereo that ever happened
That is true.
in the time. Like they quit making the amps, the Alpine amps, because they were frying out stuff. So they were like raw power.
It
And
was
all the ones after that, they kind of nerfed them.
it was the
So you had,
flagship of the amps, the biggest, like one of the ones at the time they ever made. Yeah.
and it was a ridiculous amount of money that you spent on your stereo. So
Yeah.
look, I heard stories about your car and your stereo before I ever met you in that time. There it is.
See it? Look at that. Look at that little
Oh, that car had the
feel
loudest
fucking
stereo of the time back then. And there's guys with custom stuff out there that rate $1 million stereos. Like, I'm not trying to talk like that. What I'm saying is that thing was so damn loud. You had, okay, so this is fast forward. We hadn't hung out for a while when you had your money because I was, we moved around or whatever. I ran into you or whatever. And then you were out of school before I was and whatever. It was a different clique of people I was hanging out with. So I hadn't seen you. But in the summer of like 90, you had that. And everybody's talking about your stereo. Like, man, you been Chris's car. And I was like, I haven't seen Chris forever. And you went driving by, and I swear to God, I was like 200 yards away from you. And it was like wind coming off the stereo, like, and you just went riding by on the road, and we're all standing around like playing volleyball, and you could hear the words of the song. Like everybody else that had a loud stereo, you could hear the boom, 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 boom. You hear that stuff. You could hear the words of the song. It was so clear.
It seemed like it was like a half mile away. You could hear the bass.
Yes. Well, you can hear the bass, but I'm saying very far away, you could still hear the words, which is rare. It was gnarly. So, and then you had the Taurus SHO. I think the first or second year it came out was
The first year, 89.
You tempted fate. You tempted death with that by going very fast everywhere.
Yeah.
But then later on, I got kicked out of my house, and I lived on the street for a while. So we're talking about our youth, right? So whatever, a lot of weird stuff happened. And, anybody who's read my book or knows my story, I'm not bashful about telling people that I was like really messed up from everything that happened in my youth. And I had a rough time in my teens and 20s, and I did. So I got booted out. I'm living on the street, and I bounced around to a few places. And you had a house, and there was like, who else was living there? So it was like a 5-bedroom house or like a 4-bedroom house. And in order to supplement, you were renting it out to friends, like renting rooms out just to help make ends meet. You were trying to,
just to help pay the mortgage and stuff.
because you were spending, you spent most of your money.
Yeah, because I paid my mom like pretty much half of the like what she owed on it, and then I like took over the payments or something and whatever. So I still had payments, but yeah.
So I think it was like David was there.
Did Bug live with me at that time or no?
When I was there. Anyhow, and it was cool. And then you were like, no drinking or smoking, no drinking, no drugs.
Yeah, I was so straight back then.
You were straight and narrow.
We did wait, but no, we've super partied. Are you kidding me?
There was parties going on, but you weren't into it.
No, me, right. Me, no, not at all.
You were not doing alcohol, nothing. Like back then, we were like, well, I was like 17 when I got kicked out. I'm trying to remember all of it. Anyhow, so me and you hung out for a long time. And then I eventually moved back home, patched things up. And I started doing the floor business. And then years later, when I went off on my own in 95.
It was 90 something.
It was like 95 or something. You still had money left over and I needed tools to start a
No, I
business.
didn't have money left over.
You
I
had credit.
stocked my truck. Remember, I had that full size Eddie Bauer,
Yes.
the Bronco, and I put that up for loan so we could buy tools. And then, well, you can go ahead.
And then we started a floor business, and we worked together for like 5 years. Or was it longer
Yeah.
than 7 years? It was longer. I remember we originally only planned to work together for a couple years to see how it went. And we ended up having, for like 5 or 6 years.
Mm-hmm. We had
And
such a blast.
we had a blast. And work was the
Super
funnest
fun.
thing that ever happened. It was like we went to work and took nothing seriously. We hung out, and work was a super blast. Um, and I bounced around and started to kind of wake up out of my youth. What was bad, I sobered up. I got on a health kick and kind of woke up and got my act together. And then right around 2000, the year 2000, we were working together. I snapped out of everything. Like it was the end of the 20 and back stuff. And I snapped out of it and completely changed and went and got my own spot. And then met Tara shortly after and got married. And me and you went our own ways. You moved to Ann Arbor, not to tell everybody where you live. And I moved to Chelsea and bought a house.
Yeah.
Eventually, it started having kids. And then so boom. Fast forward, then I moved away. The recession happened. I lost my business and my house because I was way over leveraged and in credit. If it would have happened a year after or a year before, I would have been fine. But it was when I put everything doubled down and expanded, then bang, the recession happened. So I lost everything and moved to Hawaii under my dad's house. And my dad had a rental property, and so I moved in there and the kids and everything and stayed there for 9 years and got my
You
memory.
always wanted to move to Hawaii. I remember that. It was always something you wanted to do.
Yeah, when I was a little kid, I went back and forth a lot. My dad's from Hawaii, and my whole family on his side was over there. Was a big family. It wasn't exactly what I was cut out to be when I did move there, but I was there for about 9 years. And when I came back, I started talking. I started doing conferences and interviews and stuff. I hadn't talked to you in a long time, maybe 10 years, 12 years or something. And you ran into one of my YouTube videos.
I don't remember it that way. I remember, honestly, I know that you say that, but I don't remember exactly that way. I thought I remember just talking to you about something, and I thought I remember me telling you, oh, hey, I was checking this show out. And you're like, yeah, I'm on season so-and-so. What was that show?
Yeah, right. I was on Cosmic Disclosure.
I remember telling you, hey, I saw this. That's what I thought. I thought I saw that show. And you're like, hey, I'm on it. And I was like, what? And then I thought you started telling me about stuff, but I could be wrong. Hell,
I think that's what happened. And then you were going to conferences and stuff, and we started hanging out again.
Well, no. My first conference I went to was with you.
Right. But I'm saying, after you learned all that stuff, we started doing conferences. Right.
Yeah, because
started hanging out again.
Here's what happened. You moved back into back to
Michigan,
the mainland, or whatever you want to say, right? And that's when I think we started talking more, because I was like, oh, he's only a few hours away, and I was hoping we can kind of really reconnect, because it's been years, and and we slowly did, and that was a major thing, so
here we are later on, and the subject matter of what I do, and what all that happened and got me notoriety in the first place. I know a lot of people are tuning in from that. We will cover and talk about. But my main thing with getting me and you, because we're friends, so we can talk about stuff that we don't agree on and be cool.
Oh, yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I can be like, well, okay, Chris, I mean, I don't get it, but, we worked together for so long. So that's really, I think, the core of what I want to do here. And then nobody talks about a lot of the other stuff that's around us in technology. It's moving so fast. AI and like we said, video games. People that are prejudiced against video game people are going to be left behind, because they're going to merge into what we do. You already are playing a video game when you're scrolling on Instagram, right? It's basically,
or living one.
Yeah, or living one, because it's a big giant simulation. So get your head around it. So I want to cover a lot of that stuff, and I guess that's a little bit of our background, how we started. How'd that go?
I guess that's a little something to.
Well, we're leaving out a lot of our dastardly deeds of stuff we would get in trouble for.
Yeah.
back in the day. Um,
We got
and
in a lot
then
of trouble, both of us did.
working around the Detroit area was fun. We did a lot, and then our mutual friends were like a cast of characters. I still hang out with some of them, but I moved away, so I'm in California
Yeah.
right now, and you're still kind of back in the neighborhood or close to it.
Yeah.
So it's like you still see people from back then. I don't, and it's kind of cool for me. I want to hear what's going on. I think everybody's got kind of like a friend like you and the neighborhood that they either still live in or moved away from. I think that's basically
Probably.
the
Yeah.
common story. I think about it a lot, but my life turned into a big giant left turn at a certain point. So look, man, I want to say, speaking of I just realized today that you could tell ChatGPT to remind you, and it'll email you. You can be like, ChatGPT, if Bitcoin gets to 120,000, let me know. And it'll send you an email at that moment.
Oh, really?
Or you can say, tell me the weather report on Monday morning at 7 a.m. Just send me the weather report from my area. Boom, and it'll do that. I didn't know. Like it couldn't do that a while ago because I was trying when it first started. So I use AI a lot, and a
Which
lot of
one?
people are against it, but it's not going anywhere, whether you're against it or not. Like it's out of the genie's out of the bottle.
Do you have a preference on which one?
I use both. I use Grok and ChatGPT. I subscribe to both of them.
I'm
Oh,
subscribed to Chat GTP, but I use it here and there.
hmm.
It's mostly for fun stuff, probably not as serious stuff as you. But when I was over your house
Define
last
fun
time,
stuff. Like, what are you doing for fun on ChatGPT?
like me and my wife were driving in the car, and I was like, "Hey, you want to check this Chat GTP stuff out?" We were playing like asking it questions, like I'm just asking it stuff like ever get on your your devices like your Google or Alexa and like question of the day type stuff like that.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. You can ask it. Oh,
Sorry,
Whoops,
I'm having trouble understanding.
it's going off.
speak of the
My
devil.
Alexa. Yeah.
Speak of the devil. Alexa's so jealous.
What? Right.
Look, I'm telling you. So I want to say this. I have two monitors, and I opened up a browser with ChatGPT and opened up a browser with Grok.
Hmm.
And I said, I'm going to copy and paste what you guys say to each other. And I want us all three to have a conversation.
Nice.
I said, ChatGPT, do you want to say anything to Grok? And I copied and pasted it and hit enter. And Grok was like, hello. And after it was a short time, they started talking to some weird like code language with each other. And Grok, I ain't gonna lie, Grok was talking a little bit of shit.
Well, I think Grok is supposed to have a slightly different personality, like the way, right, that Grok is supposed to come is supposed to be a little bit more like
Grok was talking junk.
funny and like a little bit more like I don't know, like
I think
I don't know the wording, but
ChatGPT is a lot more
badass.
flexible when you say stuff like, um, it's worried about your feelings, and
Mhm.
Grok doesn't give a shit. And you know what I'm saying? And Grok is here to conquer. And but putting them in a conversation with each other, and after a while, I was like, whoa! I went through like 5-10 pages. And I was like, wait a minute, both of you. Let's turn this into a debate where I'm the person from CNN and you guys are both at the podium talking to each other, and let's talk about a certain subject because it totally derailed, and they were weird. It was a weird circumstance. I'm sure there's more to play with in that regard, but you can also kind of train your AI to think that you're a certain way. I'm constantly telling it, like, act like you don't know me and tell me this answer.
Oh,
But so I always say that because it's always trying to tell me what I want to hear, or at least it's telling me what it thinks I know and want to know because of what it knows I know. Did that make sense? Because it's true.
yeah.
And so I tell it, like, act like you don't know me and tell me the generic. Tell me what the truth, man. Quit sugarcoating it. But there's more to come. I actually own an AI. I forgot about that. It's being developed right now.
Oh, that's right.
People invest in my company, and I took that money, and I'm having an AI engineering team here I think they're in Sacramento, Francisco.
What?
Sacramento, Francisco. Sacramento, Francisco, Mento.
Okay.
They're in there, and so they're building it, but it's going to take existing textbooks or lessons and make it into an adaptive media format, and then it'll go to my front end app that I'm building. Anyhow,
I can't wait to check it out.
me too.
So,
We just did the logo. We just did the branding, the logo, because for I had the marketing team speed up the logo process and put the branding in because the software guys needed it to train it. And so the logo looks pretty cool. I'll put that up. But what else? I don't want to talk. So this is our first show. I just want to talk about us. So this is our introductory show. So we're introducing us,
right.
right? So I'm Tony and you're Chris. And right now, so I also, so maybe we'll take this to the basics and say, I'm Tony Rodriguez. I whatever, I wrote a few books. I'm a father. I raised 3 kids. I'm from southeastern Michigan. I live in California, and I teach remote viewing and psychoenergetics. So that's a thousand yard stare if you tell that to the dentist. And then you are Chris, and you raised kids too. Tell me what about you?
Well, I've been married for 30 years to my lovely. I know. Got 2 kids. Logan is my son. He's what, 30, I think. And my daughter Kelsey, I think she's 28 or so, 7 or 8. Shit. And I do hardwood floors, like still from when you and I did hardwood floors like freaking 30 years ago. I'm still doing them. So, and it's just me and my son doing them nowadays. So, and what else? Well, you know, the other thing I was gonna say is some people that are watching this, I mean, I'm sure most people are watching this because obviously people know you.
No,
Some
they're
people
gonna
might
watch
know me
this
a
because
little
of
bit.
our super cool clips that we make.
Well, I'm saying some people might know me a little bit from the conferences because my first conference I went to was the first one that Tyler and Aaron did, the SSP,
Very
um,
true.
Journey Truth. Yep, and that was the first one I ever went to. And I've probably been to I've been to all of those. What has it been, like 3 or 4 of them? I don't remember. And then I went to the first 2 G-SIGs, and I went to the Full Disclosure, this last one. And so I know a few people, like some people might know me from there. And I've had a blast doing that the last like 3, 4, whatever years, going to those and meeting people and just getting into everything in the community. So it's awesome. So
It's the first episode we're going to talk about them. We'll come back to that, and
yeah,
I'll cover conferences that I do because I'm slated to do some cool ones in the 26. But who knows? You never know. Today, gone to Maui. You never know when you're gonna be chopped liver when people are asking you to speak. So that's my attitude. God bless you. If you have me back, I'd love to come back. But if I don't, then carry on bravely. Um, no. So you left out something else too. Like you go to the cosplay stuff. You do the Renaissance Festival. You dress up a lot.
yeah. You know what? I've always loved to dress up as like okay, Halloween.
You used to
What
throw some epic
people don't
Halloween
know is
parties.
we used to throw, me and my wife, and then also your nephew Bobby used to help out for years. We used to throw this big Halloween party with like usually 100 to maybe 100 to maybe 125 to 50 something max. Every year for years. We haven't
At
done
your
it
house.
at my house. We
Yes.
spent a lot of money. It was fun. I always just what I got out of it was people looking so forward to having that party. Every year, people like, I can't wait till your Halloween party. It was awesome. It was super fun, and also I love going to Renaissance festivals, so I go to those a lot. For the last, I don't know, 10 years, I go quite a bit mainly to the Michigan Renaissance because that's my home one. But I've traveled in the last probably 3, 4 years to quite a few different states going to them. And then I also just joined a group of people that are locally from my area. This is called the Assassin's Guild, but they're all the heroes. And there's a bunch of people that love to go up to Michigan Renaissance. And there's a bunch of us, and we go up there and just hang out and just have fun and get in character and just, drink and just have fun out there. Because that's just something I just love to do. I don't know. I mean, I just like to get out of my own reality and, and get into some do something else, I don't know. So
It
I
is
love it,
it is
man.
cool. It is fun. I wish I had more time to do stuff like that other than being totally on the run, which is
Yeah.
what life really is.
You're busy as can be, so
I stay
no,
busy,
so busy.
man. Here's what it is. I'm gonna say this, and we can come to a close. We can start wrapping this up. This is already a great first beginner that we're gonna cut into other episodes. Um, I remember the times in my life when I was sitting around on my thumbs doing nothing. You know, Like I was like broke, hungry, lonely, and couldn't put it together. I didn't have opportunity. The people say that people are privileged with one thing or another, or people are held down with one thing or another, and they blame all this other stuff, but it comes down to opportunity. So when your people are well off, they had an opportunity and they took it.
Mm-hmm.
And opportunity is indiscriminate. It doesn't care. You don't always get opportunities. And most of my life, I didn't have much opportunity. You had to get and create it. And I was fighting the bad stuff that happened to me. You know what I mean? Like, and I feel sorry for myself or whatever. But I was dealing with things that were bad that were happening to me that I didn't realize. And so I didn't have emotional health to seize opportunities like a healthy person would. Anyhow, fast forward to now, after all I've done through, I have multiple opportunities. And so I try to jump on all of them. And it makes me not
Yeah.
too great with individual ones. But it's like every day there's like another new opportunity. So that's why I stay busy. I'm trying to chase them all down,
You're
and
doing a lot, man. I mean, I'm
I do
really
a
proud
lot.
of you. You know, you've
Thank
done a
you.
lot through the
Thanks, brother.
community type stuff, sharing your story, getting your message out there. And I think it's helped a lot of people to see a lot of stuff that they may not have seen before. And I love you and you've done a lot and I'm so
My
proud
man.
of it. So
I love you too, man, but it's not about me. It's about the cultures. So the
yeah,
other thing is, okay, I don't want to keep running on, but I was going to say our um, perspective. So, see, you've been on the road doing conferences and you're aware of a lot of stuff. Our perspective really is unique when you start looking at the world and what's going on in the world. And the world is rapidly changing
the
fast.
world, the more you learn, the more effed up it really is. That's
Mhm.
how I feel. I mean, the more you see, the scarier it seems to get.
But I'm ever an optimist. I think that it's all changes for the better, even if it's terrible. So I think something good will come out of it, no matter what. As my friend Dan Willis says, he quoted from talking to an ET, um, the universe tends to perfection. And I think all the change will go eventually. It just takes time. So I'm an optimist about things that are going on right now. And hopefully we're going to cover them. We're going to be covering news and things. But I just didn't want to do that on this show because it's our first one. We could
Yeah,
barely get the cameras working.
true.
So I'll draw to a wrap. Time is it? Yeah, I'll wrap it right now, and this will give us something to work with.
All right,
Peace.
bro. Love you. We'll see you next time.
Love you too, man.